I, Architect Srishti Gaur, on behalf of GRIHA Council, would like to extend a very warm welcome to each one of you present here today for the session Lights, Camera, Climate Action. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Architect Priyanka Arjun, Principal Architect Priyanka Arjun and Associates. A round of applause for ma'am, please. With over 19 years of experience, her work spans across resorts, homes, institutions, and mixed-use developments nationwide. Her design celebrates sustainability through local materials, passive techniques, and climate-responsive architecture. We welcome you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, let's once again give a warm round of applause to welcome our guests to the dais. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. With this, I take the opportunity to request Mr. Nikhil to take forward the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Srishti, and thank you, Alan, for those very interesting remarks. This session, as you have seen, is called Lights, Camera, and Climate Action. Sounds very cinematic, but the climate part makes it very serious, as the past 2 days perhaps has been at GRIHA Summit. But what we will try in this session is to throw a different light on the subject and discuss how influence, design, creativity, and content can move climate action from talk to traction. You know, as COP30 opens in Berlin later this month, the picture, as I see it, is not very bright. The target that we had at Paris seems to have slipped already. The world is on the course of 2.5 degree warming, and as trades and tariffs increase, great advocates change their minds about whether climate should be put up front or whether health should come in. Anyway, the credibility gap has widened between promises and what has been done. So what is in front of us is not whether technology exists or not, whether we can improve architecture, cities or not. I think the question we have is whether we can turn this knowledge into delivery, and which is why we have a very diverse panel here, architects and advocates and content creators, who sort of connect those ideas to people. They turn awareness into action. Given it's an all-encompassing challenge. It's not only scientific, cultural, economic, or institutional. It's also individual. Therefore, solutions also need to cover all bases. So, before we begin, and I have some questions, and I'll also ask you about cities, I want each of you to introduce your work and also tell us what set you up for this work path. What was the beginning motivation that you had to turn towards sustainability? So we can begin with Akash.
Thank you for asking me the question. Thank you, GRIHA, for having me over here. What is it that I do and what inspires me? I think I keep it very simple. I just enjoy my life. That's what I do. I enjoy nature, so I spend my time between nature, and whatever you love, you protect. That's how simple it is. That's how I decided I should be investing my time in a space called environmentalism. Not really that I did a degree or anything, it's just I love nature, so I protect. That's simple. And how do I do it? Whatever the skills I have, I try to put on them. So let's say I write books, or I make documentaries because I love being behind the camera, or I make art installation because I mean everyone in childhood wanted to make art. It's just I'm still not out of my childhood and I have money to make the art, so I still do it. And sometimes I negotiate with organizations like Paris Peace Forum or UN Migration. Yeah, that's all I do for now.
Taking the love part forward, I am an architect and I love being an architect. I love design. I'm working from the city of Udaipur, and the idea of sustainability came in a very subtle way with lifestyle. We were doing it all along, trying to save things, sometimes saving the trees, sometimes saving the materials, sometimes saving the money also. and then it seeped into the practice, and now we are doing it on a larger scale. So I think that initiated, the saving part initiated the sustainable idea into my practice.
My dad's always practiced this, so it was more like following. So not very original thought, but the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
So this would be a very different story than I usually say, because I have a bunch of architects here, and I don't practice any genre as an architect. I'm an ex-architect, but my journey in sustainability started through an architect. I'm sure a lot of you know about Laurie Baker. So I come from the land of Laurie Baker, from Trivandrum. So I grew up in a Baker model house. So when I was in school, when I was thinking of what to do, the only reason I thought about becoming an architect was because of Laurie Baker and because of sustainable architecture. Unfortunately for me, I passed out at a time when sustainable architecture was not very popular, and hence I didn't really get many opportunities in it, and so I slowly went out of the field. And over the time, I discovered that in spite of not having been able to go into sustainable architecture, but I still loved sustainability. I wanted to bring it forward, and that's how in 2018 or 2019, I started becoming a content creator for sustainability. I educate people through visual media. I believe videos are a great way of helping, teaching people on different things, small aspects of living, and I've been doing that since the last 6+ years now. So my sustainability started through Laurie Baker, but I think I'm hoping to continue that legacy of his through my own work.
Hello everyone, I'm Alek, and thank you GRIHA for inviting me again. My story is that of connection, concern, action. I've always felt a strong connection to the environment. Even as a child, I remember I was on a school trip to Manali, and the guide asked that who will go and hug a tree if it's been cut. And I think I was one of the few boys who raised my hand. So for some unknown reason, that is good. Yeah.
It starts now.
That's an internal joke. But yeah, coming back to the story, so all of us have a connection. It's just that I sort of fostered that connection with nature and environment, and I started reading news about climate change and environmental issues way back in the early 2000s. Back then it was conspiracy theory on page 10, but I knew that something is wrong and something needs to be done. So because of that connection, that concern slightly grew stronger over the years. And then I realized, what can I do with the current set of skill sets that I have to do something for the environment. And I realized that talking about climate and environmental issues on social media is the best thing that I can do right now. So a couple of years I started doing that on social media and talk about climate and environmental issues, also sustainable structures. And yeah, so at least I'm satisfied that I'm doing what is in my capacity to do what I do.
Thank you. So this puts me to my second question, although I have not planned this, but Chipko Andolan and Laurie Baker and your talk about cities. I want to ask how we are thinking about cities now, in the sense, we see the air pollution around us. I was recently listening to a podcast where they were connecting how we live in cities to mental health because of the traffic situation and various other things. So I want to ask each of you, you come from Indore, which is supposedly the cleanest city. You are from Udaipur, which has the heritage angle and the modern angle, and you spoke about Bombay. So if you could, each of you, if you could let us know what you think is a kind of an ideal city, given also the fact that, 20, 30 years from now, most of the world will be urban and not rural. So what should it look like, if you have any thoughts?
although I'm not an urban designer. But one thing that is happening in the present is that we are dealing more with the problems of the past. Like the most of the issues that you said are things that are coming by doing unthoughtful or bad design. That's what, yeah, and in present context also it is continuing. So if we see at maybe decades from now, if we aspire to be living in better cities, I'm not saying utopia, but better cities, the action has to start now. The pointers on how we can have better cities, they have to, that is why we are having these conferences. So the ideal generation should start from here, and it's high time already.
So what I really feel here is that it's not really something that we are doing today. And it's not about how we are acting in terms of our action, but what our beliefs are. Majorly whenever it comes to climate change, there are two ways I can fix people or any problem. One is we build a policy, we bring that policy into action, and now if you don't follow what I'm saying, you will be charged. And I'm going to take away one of the things which is really dear to you, that's money. And that's why you stay on that behavior. But it will only work till the time I'm really putting the policy out and somebody is there to make sure that people are following it. But the other way is if I really believe into something, right? If I really believe that I want to wear a seatbelt because it's good for me, I don't really care about whether there's a camera or not, I'm just going to wear it. But this is a larger challenge, that how do we change people's belief system itself? And it's not just about sustainability. Whatever the thing you want, you can apply the same thing on the same concept on that same thing, on that thing. But then what I really feel that we are making mistake from the childhood itself. The way we think, the way we believe into things, and that same applies to your question that okay, how do we see the future? How do we see it more sustainable? It won't really come just by design, because again, a lot of time Ellen said that we propose a design, but the other person is not ready for it, because they don't believe in what he believes in.
So I think Bombay could be the ideal city. I strongly believe in density, I believe in compact cities, and I believe that we should all have equal rights in a city with shared resources. The resources need to be fantastic. If you have fantastic public transport, you're not taking the car. If parking is expensive, you're not going to do it. If parking is not available, you're not going to have it. So you kind of build up on it because of the density, your distances are not too much, you create public transport, you take out the entire mobility thing, that's a huge, huge impact on the city. And furthermore, the density allows for less wastage in many other ways, especially because a lot of Indian cities are going to be very populated. I think the more sprawling the city, the more wasteful it is, definitely in terms of its impact upon our climate and our geography.
So I feel like currently it's like a vicious cycle where everybody is pointing fingers at each other. Because policymakers think, say artists, activists, they're too idealistic. They're too idealistic, they don't understand how things are supposed to happen. And the artists or the activists, they blame the corporate because they think they're too greedy. And the public, they say this is not my problem. So it's like a vicious cycle where everybody is just pointing fingers at the other person while not doing the work that they are supposed to do. I feel instead if we start working together, try and collaborate together instead of trying to throw a stone at each other's work, I think it can come. Any city, I believe any city, I think it's a global thing, but I think that should be the future.
That's my next question, David.
So, yeah,
My next question is how?
we become too wasteful as a generation. We don't need so many personal cars. We don't. And in kind of way, I agree with Alan over there, because when he said that you need more public spaces, you need public transport. I mean, what are cities for? Cities are basically where people congregate because it becomes easier for them to live together. Because out there in the jungle, we cannot survive alone, and we come and stay in a city because food is easily available, resources are easily available. But at the same time, if we try to look out for our own luxuries, then that is going to sort of eat into the city. And so that's why I think just becoming too wasteful as a civilization only. That everyone doesn't need cars. We don't really need a lot of the things that we do. So it's sort of, again, we collaborate and we sort of live more as a community rather than individual families or people. That will make for a stronger city.
Right, and so my next question is actually how? How do you, I mean, given you come from different walks of life, you're perhaps doing content and you talk to people and build stories and talk about them. So how do you collaborate with problematic clients or,
You have to collaborate, you have to be persistent, you have to make your ideas seep into your work. Even if the client is reluctant, they will not understand. There are clients who don't open the windows. They will not draw the curtains for natural light. They'll switch on the light, they'll have the AC. Okay, have a glass block slit so they don't have to open the switch during the day. Bring the courtyards. It's when you make people live with nature, you bring that element into their lives, then they start to feel the change, then they advocate for it. So, if you are influencing something, you have to be persistent. 10 में से 1, 2, 3, it works. That's what you are doing. You gave 20, 30 big project presentations. Yes, you're persistent, and that's how it works.
No, I agree with you. Education is very important. We need to educate our clients, our vendors, everyone. Education is the keystone. That's why we're here, to share. And sharing is important. At the same time, persistence happens also because now you have no other path. You've stuck to one, you believe in it, and now having seen examples that work all across the world, I believe in it further. Like Paris is moving in the right way, London's moving in the right way. New York put in congestion tax, and I happened to be there that weekend, and you could find parking anywhere in Manhattan. It was amazing, $9. We had lunch in one place, and the waiter was complaining about how he could not get his car into the city. So you can see that if you give that, it's called induced traffic, right? You build more roads, you're going to have more cars. That's it. You're going to have more traffic as a result. And what happens when you have cars? You need more parking. And a city like Las Vegas, 1/3 of the city is parking. It's ridiculous. We have examples to learn from. We should learn.
How do we bring people together to collaborate? On a larger scale, if I really see what we are trying to do in COPS, policy helps there, right? For example, if my government currently is giving more benefits to somebody who's working in the crude oil space versus not really the similar kind of support which is needed for green energies, which can be solar or wind or anything, we need to offer that support to them, because if we look back in the history, time when we really started digging out the crude oil, at that point of time, so much support was given to the industry, right? From big investors to the government, and that's how they could build it sustainable. That's how they are surviving today. Not really they did it on their own. And today, when we are trying to bring back electric cars, or we are trying to bring solar energy, the green side of energy, we have lobbies coming from crude oil, lobbying policymakers to not to accept the policy which can really help green energy, or any kind of work we talk about green energy, not only the solar or wind, but let's say EVs or whatever we talk about, which is helping go green. Because in the end, when it comes to solar, you can't really package it and sell it. You can't put an MRP on it right away. Yeah, you can sell the instruments and then it's with them. Versus with crude oil, it's always packageable. You can I can give you a certain amount, I can charge you money then and there, and I can wait for you again to come back to me tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So that's a really successful model for businessmen to control some kind of commodity and then sell it to you. But where sustainability, that's the problem. They can't really make constant money. So the only way we can really help things go more sustainable is to first of all give the same kind of support at a time we gave it to the crude oil industry, and then sort of like give subsidies to people. We already have subsidies in India to a level when it comes to solar, But then still, if you really see windmills, the whole industry is sort of like fighting constantly to keep on growing. There's no support for wind as much as we have for solar.
Thank you. Do you have any additions to that?
So I think in India, to make anything work, I do like how Akash said earlier, fines are a great way to make policies stick. Because we've seen that happen, but implementation of these policies, it's not just presenting a policy and just having it, implementation. Because I've seen how, I come from Bangalore now, so over there when they started the helmet for the pillion rider, everybody was against it in the start. Nobody wanted to do it. But the moment they were starting to charge them 500,000 rupees per time, that is when now you will see there are still people who will not wear it, but that is very minuscule. And recently, if I'm not wrong, the Karnataka government was trying to put a fine on, I don't think it's implemented yet, but it's an idea where they're trying to put a fine on single riders in cars to be fined because in the main area, because Bangalore is known for its traffic. So that was I thought it was a great idea because I actually calculated in just a kilometer over 30, 40 cars, big cars, small cars, all with just one rider. And this takes up so much of that traffic. So they are trying to fine them. But if those things are implemented, I think this is one of the ways in which hopefully we can see mindset changes in people. Because once you realize that you have to actually pay not a petty amount, but a significant amount, then slowly it becomes a part of your habit. Now I see a lot of people, everybody has two helmets in their bikes. Not just one, they have two. Even if they don't have a pillion with them, they will have to because it's become a habit. I think policies and implementation of this can make habits become a part of our life.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is education, awareness, policy and implementation. I've been hearing this for the last 15 years. But you are creating content as you are, which is about awareness creation. So tell me, what's the recent trend? Are people posting something about clean air, climate, etc. as virtue signaling, or are they really taking that action or pushing their people, their government towards certain actions? So what I'm actually asking is your content making a difference? Is making a difference? What do you think?
I do believe it is making a huge impact. Because I have seen people who never heard of, so I am somebody who believes that show what you want the others to do. So I have a car at home. So I have a car only because we have a dog and we like traveling with her. So otherwise both me and my husband, we rarely take the car. I have a car and a scooter at home, but I always choose the metro. Always choose the metro, both of us. And whenever I do that, I always post about it. And I say I am a privileged woman with a car and a two-wheeler at home, and I'm still choosing the metro, and I show them how much money I'm saving, how much time I'm saving, because in Bangalore roads it takes a long time to get there. So I believe that when you show what you're doing, that slowly sort of becomes like, oh, if that is cool, maybe I should also, making it cool. I believe as creators, when people want to copy creators or at least like sort of copy them what they think is cool, and when we show them something sustainable we are doing as a person, it has shown impact. I've seen so many people coming and saying, I've finally started taking the metro. I haven't taken it in years, but I'm starting to take a metro. I've started taking a bus that they've never taken before, or people telling me I now take a bus twice a week. So I tell them you don't have to go completely out there, which is going to be hard, but at least try taking it once or twice a week. And that has happened. So I think we do have a huge impact. But again, we have to share it as an example.
I'll tell you why I think I'm making a difference. Is when I started talking about climate and environmental issues, my family didn't listen to me at that time. Even when I used to, because I'd been telling them the same thing since many years, and my mom said, no, we've been hearing about this since many years. Since I was in college, this news has been there. So it's fine, but you want to talk about it, you talk about it. And because my family didn't listen, so I thought, let's talk about it on social media, others might listen. But 2 years down the line, it turns out that my family has started listening, and they now want to talk about it to me and get my ideas and see what I have to think about, what they are concerned about. So if I can see the difference in them, but I'm sure that there's a lot of difference being made outside also, and that is primarily through people connecting with me through comments and DMs and telling me that this is what we are doing and can you help us with that. So you do end up making a difference, and if you try and use social media for the right way.
I totally feel that the content you post out, it does affect people. I mean, there are so many examples. We can just keep on going. Look at the movie stars. Why people just want to do this hand push? Where did they see it? Shah Rukh never met them. And I think this guy might not be really doing this thing in reality. He just does it on the screen. And we do it. So, like, the content we create or the videos we post might not go to that many people as many the videos of Mr. Shah Rukh Khan goes to. But we can see just even a video can create the impact. So that thing is out now, whether it's creating impact or not, it is. Now it's about how many people are you able to reach, and in what way are you communicating the message, right? Alec has a different style to communicate messages. Naina has a different style to communicate messages. Naina's is very personal, like this is what I'm doing and I'm sharing it here with you. Alex is more about knowledge, that hey, I got to learn about something new, let me share it with you. You might want to use it in your life, it's not right now usable to me, but you might want to do it. Or sometimes he's sharing about new innovations. So I totally feel the change is coming out there, and we should just keep on going. It's about, let's say, it's a screen time, right? Coca-Cola is playing an ad, I can buy, if I have money, I can buy the ad space and I can play my message over there. Whosoever plays this more will get fixated into the consumer's mind. Hammer it, that's it.
Thank you. So let's move towards your work and your experiences. Let me start with Alec. You've also done films. I read a lot of fiction, and recently Amitabh Ghosh has been advocating that there's not a lot of fiction which talks about climate change. I have seen documentaries on climate change, but I have not seen mainstream films handling this issue in any way, apart from maybe a few films, very, very few. So, do you see any traction in the film world, whether here or outside, for this issue? Because
here the only traction I'm seeing is about werewolves and vampires. But but I'm sorry to say that as far as I know, there hasn't been any traction in Bollywood yet. I do know that there are a few individual players who are personally interested in talking about sustainability, but it only is up to those people. They're not really flagging off some projects in that sphere as of yet. And anyway, even if there are scripts, people know that these scripts might not get them the amount of earnings that they usually look out for. So it's not the ideal scenario right now in terms of Bollywood, but Hollywood, yes, there is a lot of content being made out there. There was a movie that came out 2 years ago, I forgot the name, and Leonardo in it. The primary thing is that people are more educated and people are concerned, also because it's a different society over there, it's a more developed country. Europe being a developed continent, their realities are different. The realities we face in India are different, and that's why it's different over here.
Naina, we were talking earlier, and you said that you recycle. You have not bought a new cloth in 6 years. Can you tell us more about that?
So I have been thrifting since a decade now, And by thrifting, it means buying second hand. And I do not mean Sarojini market rejects or anything. I mean genuine second hand, which somebody else has used and I reuse it. So I've been thrifting for almost 10 years. And I haven't bought a first-hand clothing item in the last 6+ years. And I feel this is a way for me to share as an example and make thrifting cool. Because we have the culture of hand-me-downs. In India, we have the hand-me-down culture, but it's usually always within a circle of family or friends. When it comes to strangers, the word used, it's dirty. That's the mindset that Indians generally have. We don't realize that when we go to a mall and try on a clothing item and buy it and bring it, we don't know how many people have probably worn it before us. It's not been cleaned, it's not been washed. We have just brought it home. What do? We just wash it and reuse it. But that is the same thing with any other second-hand product too. So I have been trying the most to try and make thrifting a more cool thing to do today. And even not just my clothing, I have been thrifting my home products also. My house is almost 80% thrifted. My phone is thrifted. My watch, I don't have it now. My watch is thrifted. My furniture, my electronics, my kitchen items, even decor pieces at home, I've thrifted. And because I was so selfish that I wanted to thrift more and more, I even started thrifting groups in Bangalore. So I have over 2,000 members in WhatsApp groups in Bangalore, which we realized that communities have only 2,000 limit. We just realized that because we hit that 2,000 mark, and now we're scrambling to make a second community. So I believe that each of us have the power, and when we selfishly want something to be done, just do it. Go on, do it, even if you don't have a lot of reach or anything. Do it in your circle. Start doing it for yourself because you want to make it easier for yourself. Start doing it, and I think it will just be like a wildfire. Like I said, when I started the Bangalore one, it was just a small number of people. Today there are over 2,000. We have probably 2,100 or 200 now. So that many people are interested, which was not something I imagined at all. I also have a group for Trivandrum, my hometown, and even for Chennai. So totally I would say around 3,000 people. So I think if you want to do something, just do it, and people around you will slowly follow.
I want to add to what you're saying, that it is right time to be mindful. If we are not mindful, maybe in next 10 to 15 years, we all will have to thrift our way out of the mess that we are going to create.
Yes. Yes. So, again, we are living in a time of over-consumption or over-consumerism. Especially with things like Blinkit, Zepto, where we don't even have to think for a second before we buy something. It's really, really important that we become a little more mindful and start thinking of what we buy. That is one of the main purposes why I wanted to promote thrifting, because I believe the lesser you buy first hand and the more you start giving a second life to a product that's already out there, I think the impact is huge.
Thank you. I think you have talked a lot about you, but tell us, what would you do in Delhi? How would you clean it there? If you were given the responsibility.
That's a great one coming from Google Delhi. So knowledge is power, and Google knows everything even before we say it. So Nikhil, you probably have a better idea.
But tell us more. I mean, what barriers do you face?
I believe in saying things honestly if I know a lot about it. So with Bombay, I'm very specific. I've not studied Delhi's air thing. People blame crops, people blame industries, this thing, that thing. Whatever it is, I'm very sure the solution is simple. The question is whether one wants to implement it. Because you can easily study why things are happening, and then you can act upon it. So it's not impossible to solve.
It's the intent. The intent is not there.
Considering it's the capital city of India, and it's a big city and an old city, I think they should be a little more involved in solving this problem. I think the Prime Minister and President also stay in the city. There should be a little incentive in that.
Let's move to Udaipur.
Udaipur में problem नहीं है. We are okay.
Okay, but tell us, you talk about using sustainable materials. I'm sure your clients are more conscious of the cost than sustainability. How do you manage that? Tell us a little bit more on what you do day to day, in the sense of convincing your clients or working with them.
So, thankfully now the point has come where I don't have to convince clients with the body of work that is created. Earlier, yes, of course, it was a bit difficult because there were no measurable ways to communicate that what you are going to save and all. I can give a small example here. So, I did my graduation in 2006, and after that I was working in different places, I was learning, I was applying my knowledge of saving by doing small things on climate control, building wisely, that is what I was doing. In 2015, we started working on our first green certified building, and we worked with a green building consultant, and we came across GRIHA ratings. That was a learning curve for me. They gave us 100 points, and it was all measurable, clearly written, south double glazed, green trees here, local species. So all those pointers gave me a very good handbook, which I could apply to other projects as well, whether we are getting certified or not. It is it's in general common sense of design. But now we had this list which I could follow, and that again added to the practice. Now, certainly after COVID, we have a lot of people coming to us that they want to live in a healthy way, in which they want their places to breathe, they don't want to kill the environment, and also Udaipur is one of the places where a lot of people come back to live. Many people are choosing to live there because it is abundant in nature, it's beautiful, it's rich, culturally significant place. So I can say I'm privileged to have people who already have that intent in them and merely become a tool in guiding that in a right direction. And we have great natural resources as well. So it's just using it mindfully. That's what we do.
Thank you. Akash, you have done different kinds of things. You've written a book, you do create content. Tell us a little more about that and also about your book.
Yeah, about the book I'll be happy to talk about. I'm a good salesman. I should sell my book. So many people, potential buyers. So my book is called I'm a Climate Optimist. It's India's first carbon neutral book because whatever the money I make as an author, 100% goes to charity. We use that money to offset the carbon footprint we create by producing the book itself. It's published by Penguin, and the book is focused toward the general public because I realized there's a small gap when it comes to climate change, why it's happening, because there's so much science which is proven, but it's research paper, and then there's 8 billion people who do not know how to read a research paper. So can I simplify this for other people? And that's what we did in the book. We tried to write the book in a very, very simple language. Usually when people see this book at a bookstore, they might feel that it's an academic book, but we tried to make it a very user-friendly book. The book has about 10 chapters. Each chapter is more like an industry: food and beverage, textile, transportation, beauty, or plastic, and believe in choices. So the idea was that it's become easier for you. So let's say somebody who's here, people might be interested into buildings, right? So there's a specific section or a chapter for that. You can engage more into it. You might say that I'm not really big in fashion, so reading the chapter of fashion isn't really that much of use to me, or I eat food as a necessity, but I'm not really a big fan of cooking a lot of food or digging deep into the subject. So then you may just read the chapter on a surface level, or if you want, you can just read throughout the book. But I will try to divide it into different sections, and then the book, like, it's very detailed, I won't really go that deep, but let's say, for example, there are 45 people who are industry experts who have written with me in the book. One of them is here as well, Sanjay sir, because we needed somebody's opinion when it comes to constructing the house itself, like what kind of house you're building, because you live a life, I think you said it, right, that we don't build houses, we build a lifestyle. Yeah, that's the same thought I headed over there, that once you're done making your house, how much change can you really bring? But if you really make the house the right way, your whole life is simple over there. If you have thought about it, your light, your heat, your electricity, you're already done so much then and there. But then once your home is ready, then it's really difficult how you're going to go about it. So that way, and then in the book we have listed over 100 plus startups from India who are building some of the other alternative which people may use. So let's say if I'm talking about food, that's an easy one. So if I'm talking about food chapter, in the end we have a resource section, because somebody might say, okay, I'm done reading the chapter, I'm really inspired, now what do? I go back home and eat what I need, because you didn't tell me what to do, you inspired me. But once you're done reading the chapter, the first section comes is 5 books you may want to read on specifically food and sustainability, if you are interested more in food. You'll be like, okay, I'm not the book person, I read your book because you met me personally and requested me, so I read your book, I don't want to read it. Cool. So I'm like, okay, cool, you want to watch a documentary? I'm more of a documentary guy, but you will like documentaries long. You want to watch a TED talk, it's 18 minutes. You will like, I don't want to watch anything, I just want to act. So I'm like, okay, cool, here are 5 influencers who are specifically talking about food and sustainability, you can follow them. You will be like, no, I don't want to learn, I want to act. I'm like, cool. Do you want to know where to buy ingredients from? Here are the shops, you can buy it right there. You'll be like, I don't want to buy ingredient, but dairy, here you buy dairy. You'll be like, I don't want to buy ingredient, I just want to eat. I'm like, here are the cafes and restaurants going. So each chapter when you go, I take you to the point where you are ready to act, or you may choose not to act. Because I'm literally giving the link that go to abcd.com and you can order vegan food and eat and try. Similar to the way the Nana said, that she is not asking people to change their life upside down, just try it. You eat Mexican someday, you eat Thai someday, you eat Indian someday. Today, do you want to just try vegan? Don't become a vegan, just try the vegan food, that's it. So that's how the book goes. This is one chapter, and the same way we have like 10 chapters which try to simplify things for people with a lot of stories, like how my nanny was to give away clothes in exchange of a utensil, and then we use that utensil, and this lady who has taken the clothes would do something with this to keep it upcycling, right? So yeah, that's the book.
Thank you. Can we do some audience questions? Yeah?
Can we first ask, since we have technology with us, and since Google knows everything, Nikhil, a few words of wisdom, please. You've heard it for 15 years. That's the first thing you said, so now.
We're just waiting.
Let the audience ask their questions. They have come to know about your work.
देखिए मुझे
Yeah, good evening everyone. I am architect Archana Khanna, an architect urban designer, now practicing for close to 35 years, apart from several other hats that I don. And my question is rather blunt, so apologies before I do ask it. But and anybody can answer it. And as a society, as an urban society, are we getting regressive? I mean, all the aspects that I've understood so far in my association with sustainability, we were doing it, I mean, I am like what, 50 plus, right? So I remember 50 years ago, we were doing everything. My school had only one school bus, and as soon as a kid got about 7 to 8 years old, would cycle to school up until the end of high school, right? We were all wearing hand-me-down clothes, getting hand-me-down school books. I mean, we were doing everything, including having sort of blankets and mattresses that were handed down generations in the family. Furniture was reused. So a lot of what Nana is talking about, we were already practicing it as a society. And we had no shame in it. I mean, we were rather proud of the fact, that acha dadaji ke zamane ka agar koi chair tha ya kuch tha, we were sort of showing it off, And so, are we getting aspirational towards something else which is not in our culture?
So the question is open, but I really feel that we're sort of reinventing the wheel and going back to where we left off 50 years ago.
Okay, so thank you for this question. This is really a good one, and it's not blunt. It's just reality. I mean, if we have to call this blunt, I would love to hear more from Ellen. He is blunt. I love this. But then what you said is very basic. It's reality. Reality you're asking. What I would say here is, this is a very deep question you're asking. You're not really asking me why am I choosing XYZ material when the PQR material is far more sustainable. It's okay, a little more expensive, but still why am I going XYZ? It's far deeper than that. Let me break it down. Why do we wear fancy clothes? I want to look good because I'm not 100% happy with myself. Hence, I want to dress myself in a certain way that I feel good. That when people look at me, okay, so human need, we love appreciation. Everybody loves appreciation. In last few years, we have started talking about mental health. What do kids really love? Kids love when you appreciate them, right? If you want me to change, talk to me properly if I'm not studying. Okay, let me finish. Then yeah. Sure.
As a little kid, I was super proud to wear my
I'm not talking. I'm not talking. No, hold on. No, you're taking it different.
Is it a mindset?
No. It's not the appreciation for clothes. Kids. Anybody in the world love appreciation, yes or no? How many people love appreciation? If you say no, I'm going to insult you if you don't say, right? So be sure. Cool. So it's a very basic human need. We love appreciation. We can establish it right here. Majority of the people love appreciation. I, as a human, I feel broken that I'm not good enough. Is it me only the one feeling? Most of the people inside, when we are talking to ourselves, we feel that we haven't done good enough. Or there might be some people who feel, no, I've done tremendous, or let's say perfect. The way I thought my life would be, it's right then and there. There are very few people. We all think that we can be better. We are seeking for more. And we are seeking appreciation and approval of the society. How do we get it? So I'm going to get more money. I'm going to look really fancy. I'm going to get an expensive car. And then those people who want the same thing, they will like me. Not because they like me, because I have money. So if they rub their shoulder with me, there might be a chance that I'm going to give them a deal, or I'm going to somehow give them the secret how you can also make money. So majority of the time when I'm buying new clothes, where is this cloth going? I'm literally taking a picture of this and putting it up on social media. What is social media for? A majority of the people who look at your stories don't even like the story or don't even comment on you. They are just looking at you and then they move on. So if you really understand, we as a society, humans, we are really broken. We do not give love to each other. We do not give love to our family or our children because we are busy. Not that we hate them. We are busy. We are in a society. We are in a rat race. We are running. And then we humans find different ways. What is greed? Why do you need money for? Why do you need an expensive car? Our problem is that we are selling more cars, right? That's the problem, that they are emitting more. Why companies are not ready to let go of crude oil? Do you really think, let's not name the company, do you really think the owner of the company, refineries, really love oil? They never touch crude oil, right? They love money. And this is making them money. So if, yeah. See, that's what I said. That's a basic question. That's blunt, right? So, but the point here is what you're asking is a very good question, and this is the point which I said in the start, that if we make policies, we can make people do 1, 2, 3 things the way we put it out in a policy, but it's far bigger than that.
I would just like to add on to that. I would say also because today we have more options. There are too many options for us to choose. Because as a child, I remember I used to buy, say, for one festival, my birthday, and maybe one more event, I would have 3 new outfits the entire year. But today, I see so many buying new outfits every week or every month. I see people going to malls and just going in like, and I like it, I'll buy it. It's because I believe earlier we didn't have those options. We had fewer options. The more options we got, the more greedy we got. I would say the more, and it's become accessible to everyone. Earlier, I would say it wasn't accessible to every sphere of people. But today it's accessible to everyone. You'll get jeans for 100 rupees. 100 rupees or 50 rupees. I'm sure in Sarojini you will probably get it for 30 also. So it's that accessible today. it is that cheap and accessible today. So the availability of too many products have spoiled us. And that is why we are now trying to go back to our older habits.
It's not in regression. Reuse is a small part of going forward. It's about taking a step back and thinking what we are doing. It's not that we are not technologically advancing. We are creating intelligent materials. We are creating places where we can live better. So we are advancing. Maybe we are taking one step back and then taking two steps forward because of the damage that is already caused. So the whole society is not going in regression. A part of it is required. But yes, there are bounds and leaps that we have to go, and that is why we all are together here with all different backgrounds, thinking from different perspectives towards the same goal. So yes, it is moving forward, but some steps have to go back, which cause the harm. So at some places we have to reuse, some places we have to remodel, some places we have to rethink, okay, if I'm doing something, is it going to create more harm than good? So that thinking is what the initiation is required.
Yeah, but I also think it comes down to money. So this society of consumption, we're consuming more and more and more because it's driven by profit and motive and all. And then now the cycle is going to a different level where from consumers, we are becoming consumables by technology. And that is very interesting because that's also driven by money. So maybe you'd like to.
We are not here to solve capitalism.
Am I audible? Am I audible? Yeah. So Naina ji, my question is specifically from you and also the team. यहाँ पे whatever discussion I heard, there was a two point of view. एक system and process था, एक था कि public को direct आप influence कर सकते हो, whether through coolness or whether through directly influencing their mind. So do you believe कि system and मतलब I was totally opposed to your view कि आप बोल रहे थे it's not a question, it's a feedback, and I want you to convince me कि आप जो कह रहे हो as an influencer आप कैसे मुझे convince कर सकते हो कि by making it appear cool you want to implement or you want to help people to be sustainable, and system is and process is something that you believe कि ये this is not so important but looking cool is more important than the system and process. Can looking cool be have a long impact or system and I believe in system and process, and I want you to help me कि कैसे आप coolness और the some other substitute or shortcut से आप sustainability को implement कर सकते हो, because I am totally opposite to the view whatever you said.
Okay, I'll just say, just using the word cool doesn't mean that anything like, I'll just say, who is the system? We are all the system. We are the ones who are creating the system. Who is everything made for? Like who are the ones paying money to get something? We are the ones that any corporation or any government is trying to take money out of. So when say, I'll say thrifting for an example. If we make thrifting, cool is just a word. You can make it say thrifting accessible, thrifting aspirational, thrifting something that is likable. These are all just words. Cool is just a word I used. It doesn't mean that when thrifting becomes cooler, I'll tell you how it can make changes. The more number of people stop, say, consuming from Myntra or all these brands which sell so many clothes very easily, the more people who stop buying, then they start noticing that their revenue is getting reduced. So they start thinking, okay, what are we doing that is not working? What do they want? What do we want?
Am I audible?
Yeah.
But again, there is a cultural sentiment that is totally against thrifting. And thrifting is something that is an overseas sentiment. If you want directly to implement here in India, I feel it will take a long time. So, I'm not against your thought process, but what as a public I want you to convince it in a way that is perspective to India and also a sustainability long time impact.
Thrifting is just an example.
Just a minute, let me complete. आप एक shortcut की बात कर रहे हो, आप एक fullness की बात कर रहे हो, आप एक इमीडिएट शॉर्टकट से आप एक चीज अचीव करना चाह रहे हो, डू यू बिलीव कि शॉर्टकट वर्क लग जाएगा सस्टेनेबिलिटी के लिए? बिकॉज दैट इज टोटली टू मी इट्स नॉट इजी टू डू. सिस्टम एंड प्रोसेस, अगर आप एज एन इन्फ्लुएंसर, एज अ कंटेंट एडिटर और व्हाट्सएवर प्लेटफॉर्म यू आर टचिंग अपॉन, एज अ पब्लिक, एज अ सस्टेनेबिलिटी प्रोफेशनल, आई वांट कि आपके जैसे कंटेंट राइटर जो हैं, जो कि पब्लिक को टच करते हैं, जो इन्फ्लुएंसर हैं जो पब्लिक को टच करते हैं, दे शुड लुक फॉर अ लॉन्ग टर्म सॉल्यूशन रेदर देन गोइंग थ्रू एन इजी स्टेप्स. बिकॉज इजी स्टेप, नो मैटर वॉट एवर वे, वॉट एवर प्रोसेस यू आर रनिंग फॉर, दे वोंट क्रिएट अ लॉन्ग टर्म इम्पैक्ट. तो आप लोगों के लिए आई जस्ट एन फीडबैक और मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है कि वॉट एवर पब्लिक यू वॉन्ट टू टच, कम विद अ change, come with a solution that can have a long term impact. Easy solution से क्या होगा, हो सकता है public आपसे
Thank you.
influence
Thank you.
होके
Let's move on to the next question. Thank you. Is there another question? Yeah.
I am Architect Shelley, working for GRIHA Summit. Just one simple question to Sir Alan and Priyanka ma'am. Do you think that architecture is succumbing to the unnecessary demands of the client and the government? For example, what is happening in Delhi, we are talking about air pollution, etc. Sarojini Nagar, Kidwai Nagar, all of these are redeveloping, and we are cutting down trees because we want a lot of parking area. So the entire area, trees are being cut down and basements are being laid. So do you think, because if I speak to any architect, they say that it is the demand of the client, if I don't take it up, somebody else will. Do you think architecture is succumbing to that?
It's like, so what exactly is your question? Is architecture succumbing to that? Means it's very generic. It's architecture means
Architects in general, and of course it is
See, honestly, I'll give a personal example. I can do what I can do because I can afford to do it. I have the luxury of choice and I have a little backing. So, I have that hope. But say you don't have a job, you're getting a job, you take on the job. It's been legalized by the government. Boss, you can cut the trees, you can develop whatever. They did it for Central Vista also. They are doing what they want. That guy is breaking down the White House there. Kuch bhi karega. The point is, there are people building it there also, no? So, ethics, if you're talking about, or whatever, can happen from a position of a little power. With that power or that knowledge comes responsibility. So you can apply that, but if the policy says tomorrow they're going to cut down all of Nicobar, Adani is going to get that place. Everyone is objecting. I mean, everyone I know in this kind of who likes nature, this thing, development, pro-development, and we're all pro-development. I'm not anti. Like the moment you're pro-environmental or you're pro this thing or pro-green, they label you as an activist. I'm an activist for a good lifestyle. Boss, you're spending 14,000 crores reclaiming the sea, which is a stupid idea. You're building a coastal road. You're having so-called open spaces, then design it better so we get the better outcome. That's this thing. So with this also, the ideal way is to change the policy because you cannot blame individuals for taking on jobs because that's how we are living, right? We are earning money. So I don't blame those architects. No.
We cannot point out the professional who's working in the field and at the same time to be an activist at every moment. We will push boundaries as far as we can.
What he can do is, he can probably change the design slightly, accommodate, but if the client wants so many square feet or whatever, he has to deliver, otherwise he's not a good architect, right? That's also applicable.
Like fighting a very bigger vision, which was itself crooked in the first place. So you are like midgets, it becomes difficult.
Thank you. I can say that Alan is not the bad man. The next session is about that. Thanks a lot. We can take other questions offline.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much everyone for this engaging session, and it was really thought-provoking for all of us. Do you all agree? Yes. So can we have a huge round of applause for all the speakers and panelists? Sanjay Seth, Vice President and CEO GRIHA Council, to kindly come upon the dais and felicitate our dignitaries. Requesting Sir to kindly felicitate Mr. Alan Branham, our keynote speaker for today. Can we please have the claps going on? Thank you. Requesting Sir to kindly felicitate Mr. Nikhil Kumar, Communications and Public Affairs Professional, Google. A round of applause, please. Thank you. Next we have Mr. Alek Kapoor, actor and influencer. A round of applause, please. Architect Nayana Premnath, founder, The Green Circle. Mr. Akash Ranison, climate change activist and founder and co-director, Greener Earth Foundation. A round of applause. And architect Priyanka Arjun, principal architect Priyanka Arjun and Associates. Thank you so much, sir. We now request all the dignitaries on the dais to kindly take their seats in the audience as we move to the next part of the event. Moving to the next part of the event, felicitation of the winners for GRIHA